Guys, you're holding my hand too tight.
Sam, I'm not holding your hand.
Greetings and welcome to Region Free. Lorne is dead. What can we say? Dead. They got him. But we're soldiering on, gone but not forgotten. So yes, I of course am Flesh Wound Dan, and our regular panelists, but in case you're unfamiliar, I think most know you, Chris.
I think so.
Yeah, you haven't done Region Free though, have you?
I have not. No.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's his debut.
Yeah, I think so.
Sam is soldiering through con cooties.
Yeah, sinus infection. So lost my voice. I know a lot of people are grateful for that, but eat me. I don't know.
You're still soldiering on. That's the important thing. That's the important thing. And yes, so very brave of you. Also, somebody, if you're an old school Flesh Wound Features fan from we were Creepshow Radio at that point, Mike, the Dead Man Jones, how are you doing? Introduce yourself to anybody unfamiliar.
Hey guys, yeah, I've known Daniel. I'd say that him, Todd, and Chris McGibbon were the ones that got me into podcasting. And through my association through Horror Society, we worked together for a while, and we both left Horror Society Radio and went on our own ways, but we've always kept track with one another. And whenever they do really weird, interesting topics, Daniel and I seem to always cross paths, and tonight seemed like one of those shows.
Absolutely. It's good to see you back. I know it's been a minute since you've been doing podcasts, so I'm glad to see you back.
Well, I'm glad for the opportunity, and I look forward to an interesting topic of discussion this evening.
Absolutely. So we've got several interesting topics, but before we get into all of that, how are the rest of you doing? I know Sam, you're dying like Lorne, but Stone, what's new with you?
Oh, I've just been busy chilling, trying to find more work, and just had my 47th birthday last weekend. That went fine. I wish I could have gone to Nashville. It would have been fun, but I had to deal with some issues. So, it was fine though. It was fine. I mean, had a great birthday at home. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's always next year. I'm turning 40, Stone. So, I mean,
that's
a milestone this month.
Damn, I just turned 50.
There you go. Yeah, at least I think Lauren's older than us all. So there's
no. I think I'm older than Lorne actually.
Oh, you got okay
by a year or two, I think it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Well, old man, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. Yeah. Just been carrying on as normal, doing the streams with Dirk, Subjective Perspective Collective, and all that, and doing kind of side projects with Chris, who's in the chat. I've seen that, but no, yeah, doing good.
Awesome. And Dead Pit going to be on Rhonda Shear's new network, so that's awesome. I heard that.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, I guess we'll kick it off. Talk a little bit about Full Moon Tattoo and HorrorCon that we were all at, or not all of us, but some of us were out at Nashville. So Chris, did you have a good time?
Yes, I did. Had a great time again this year. Sorry I couldn't be on Pizza Stream last night. I wasn't feeling well. I think I got part of what Sam had with the con crud, but
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. It's half mine anyway. He was married, but No, anyway, the con was great. Could have had some better vendors. I agree.
Yeah.
But overall, it's just a really fun, great time. I got another tattoo. I got one last year. Got one this year.
Show it off.
Let's see if it will show in there. It's you gotta see it. It's a Booberry cross with the Ghostbusters.
Very cool.
That's good.
I'm still tattooless. Every time I go in to get like a quote, it's like $600 for what I want.
Yeah, that's how it goes, man.
Oh, that's why I think either something simple or find like the guy Jay found, where we all went to him.
Yeah, that's true. I want to get some Hellraiser tattoos, and I've always wanted them, but I've been to like a dozen different artists, and it's like, well, for what you want, it's like, yeah, it's going to be like $600 on the low end. So,
see, I've got a lot of tattoos, and last couple years before the accident and stuff, I covered the Carolina Fear Fest, and they had a lot of tattooing out there, and I just can't bring myself not to go to an actual tattoo parlor to get tattooed. That's just odd to me.
It's interesting because they were talking last night on Piz's stream. Like, there's an entire separate section for the tattoo portion of the con, and there's like a dude getting like his ass tattooed just right there out in the open. I would find that a little bit strange, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe next year I'll plan to get something. I'll get something smaller and then build to the bigger stuff.
I think that's what I may do. I've always thought on my left hand, I always wanted to get the Bloodhound from Hostel, and on my right hand, I always wanted to get the symbol of Ibon from the Beyond. So maybe I will do one of those at one of those conventions.
Yeah, I think if you can keep it around, fist size, you can get an okay deal on that. But yeah, people are always surprised. I've been in, I plan to get it, and I've never gotten one. So
peer pressure next year.
Next year we'll make it happen. Shout out to Daily Ghost. I'm still the Mayor Ghost. I'm just keeping it classy tonight. Chris, JG, everybody in the stream, and Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Fest, man. Like it grows every year, and it is a blast. So
was Charlie there?
Huh?
Was Charlie Band there?
He was not. No, this is not that full moon. It's just it's a horror con. Emily Perkins from Ginger Snaps was there. Stephen Dorff. God, who else was there? David Arquette, Jamie Kennedy,
Derek Mears.
Derek Mears. Yeah, it was a pretty good lineup, but it's a smaller, more intimate con, and that's where it's at for me now. I'm not big into the Wizard World sort of conventions where you're elbow and elbow, and it's just this ginormous, building that nobody can really talk to each other. So yeah. Let's see. I think we might be having. You guys see us in the chat? Oh yeah, we're back. Sorry, thought we had a technical glitch there. So yeah. Did you guys? What was the highlight of the trip for you guys?
I mean, hanging out with everybody was great. That's really what we came there for. I was disappointed that there wasn't more apparel. There was definitely more physical media in the booths this year. So that's nice, but I was really hoping to score some really cool shirts. And I did get one cool shirt, and I got a flannel that had like a Ghostbusters panel on the back of it. But that's about it.
Yeah, this is one of the rare conventions I didn't come out with any shirts, but they actually did have a couple good physical media vendors, which is becoming more rare. So they came out with some movies. That was cool. And a lot of funny stories, some that we can't repeat on the show, but
I'm gonna repeat it. Fucking come on.
I was gonna ask about that because I saw the stream with Piz.
Why don't we think the Alex Vincent story? Really?
Yeah, there's some gossip there in there, I think.
Oh yeah.
I know you can't say on screen. Don't worry.
Why can't I?
Oh, you can, yeah, go for it. I mean,
No,
I
seriously, who was fucking who? Okay, we need to know.
Was it one of your gang?
Visual.
No,
Was it one
no,
of
it was
the
one of us.
gang, or was it a convention kind of regular, like an actor?
I mean,
Dan's
you know.
dying to see something, but he just
As the mayor, he has a right to protect his seat.
Okay.
Elections coming up. But, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. David Arquette, super cool. As always, I met him like 20 something years ago at this point. Always really friendly, and
WCW champion of the world.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you about this con, because I've seen this show up a lot on Facebook, and not being able to write as well right now. I was wondering what your guys' thoughts. What were the prices like for autographs and selfies with the talent?
They're reasonable.
Depends on who you're going to, but most of them are very reasonable. I kind of regret actually not getting photos because they're that good price.
Well, like here's an example, and I'm not singling him out. I can only use him because I saw him recently. I remember 2 years ago at Fear Fest when I met Derek Mears, it was $60 for an autograph and $20 for the selfie. Is that comparable to what you guys saw at that convention, or?
Mears, I thought, was a little bit cheaper than that.
I think it's like 40 and 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've noticed a lot recently with a lot of people talking about how they feel the actors are starting to price out the crowds. Like I've seen prices for some autographs that you're like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, starting to go in like 94. Obviously, there's the post Walking Dead like giant price hike, and I don't know if it's gotten too much higher. You'll get like a ridiculous guest every once in a while that wants to throw in all these extra charges for quotes and different
the same air, the usual stuff.
Yeah, shaking their hand. That was the thing.
I'm just curious because it does seem like it's very regional on their pricing.
It is. Northeast, you can get away with the price gouging a little bit more. It is what it is.
It makes sense because like cost of living kind of stuff. Because like like a cost of a meal could be cheaper in Nashville versus New York City.
Oh, true. No. Very true.
Yeah, no, you're conditioned to spend a lot more at the Northeast. In general, I mean, just trying to buy food in the hotel down where Chiller was in Jersey was sometimes a nightmare. That's why, like I said, for me, I only met Emily Perkins. Like, she's the only autograph that I got, and she was sweet. She was really cool. She doesn't do a lot of cons. She's sadly retired now. She stopped acting in 2019, and she just teaches acting in Canada now. So I know that's probably a significant chunk of her income. I just say no to the ridiculous prices now, even if it's a bigger person. If it's just unreasonable, I just say no. Obviously, I've already met throughout the years a lot of people that I wanted to meet anyways, but yeah, it was a good time. Good hotel, good venue. You never felt like you were boxed in with people. And I can say, if you guys have considered going in the chat, it is a lot of fun. Saturday night
it's well worth it. And also I was going to say is I like the smaller venue because I've been to other bigger Comic Cons because we live in San Antonio, me and Sam. So there's huge ones here. I've been to several. I like the smaller ones because even with the celebrities, it feels like you're closer with them. Like they feel more personable.
Yeah.
As well as like you're not like a separate area for photos. It's more like, hey, at the table, they kind of come around, take a quick selfie with you, and kind of go back to know what they do and talk to you a little bit. They spend a little more time with you because they have more time because there's less, lines and things like that. So it's an overall better experience.
Yeah, it really is. And, like David Arquette, I expected to be mobbed, and he really wasn't. Like, if you went at the worst time, maybe you might wait a half hour. I'd say that would be the worst wait you were looking at. So
it was like once.
Yeah.
It was very much the same way at Carolina Fear Fest. Like, I was, when they had Heather Langenkamp, I was like, man, I'm going to be in line for 4 hours. Man, I was through, and it got to interview her in 20 minutes.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, it's like, I don't, I guess it is. It's very regional. I've only had the experience in Carolina, and I'm hoping to do some of the stuff that at least go to a con in Kentucky this year and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's hard to say if you haven't done a lot and you're just dying to meet that, John Carpenter, or like a big headliner like that. I understand, but you should always realize if you go to like a Wizard World, it's going to be high and by.
Oh yeah.
So make sure. If you're lucky, and they might look up and say hi to you. So
yeah, that's basically what it was with Curse City Con, because R.L. Stein was there Saturday only.
Oh, and wow.
It was a high and by situation.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I can imagine R.L. Stein. I mean, my God, so many horror fans today because of R.L. Stein. So,
oh yeah.
Now, the craziest celebrity line I ever saw at anything was at GalaxyCon in Raleigh a couple of years ago. The dude Steve from Blue's Clues. Oh, holy God! I have never seen a line like that.
That makes sense. I mean, that's way after my time, but yeah, I can imagine that guy probably makes bank.
Oh my God,
like that.
One of my favorite celebrity meetups will always be at Denver at the Rocky Mountain Con. I got to meet Malcolm McDowell, although he was a little bit late because he was a wee bit hungover from the night before. But we chatted for like a good 20 minutes where we he was even it got to the point where he was giving me Betty Davis impressions.
Oh.
Wow, I heard he's a real dickhead. Like, a lot of people have gone up to him, and he's
Piz had a less than stellar. You got to hit their sweet spot. You just have to hit their sweet spot, I think.
Right. I had interviewed him at Fear Fest, and Tracy Lords was there too. And I just seen a movie that they had done called Excision, and I talked to Tracy about it. And here's the funny thing. Their tables were right next to each other, so Malcolm could hear us talking. So his agent was like, yes, you can interview Malcolm now. So I went over to Malcolm's table. Malcolm didn't remember the movie at all. It was like, you must be smoking something. You don't know what you're talking about. And he says this all on interview, like it's live. And his agent leans over and he points to Tracy, and Tracy waves at him and goes, yeah, you were in that movie with her.
Oh, shit.
So he apologized to me, and he was hysterical the rest of the interview. But I can see how he could come across as abrasive to some people, but I thought he was really fun.
I've met him a few times. One of his funniest stories is making Caligula and not realizing he was basically in a porn.
Yeah,
is my favorite quote is like, I saw Bob Guccione was producing this, and I said to my agent, "Isn't that the pornographer?" And like, no, it's just a money thing. Don't worry about it, Malcolm. And then he
shows up on set, like, what the fuck?
He shows up, and then there's these scenes where he's just walking, and then off to the side, it's like there's hardcore pornography going down. So he's got a lot of really good stories. It's not a good movie. In fact, I don't know what happened to it, but Psycho Killer, he was just in that, and he plays a sort of a cross between Anton LaVey and Alex Jones.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's an awful movie, but it is entertaining in a weird sort of way.
Is that the one you sent over, Dan?
Yeah, I think you have it, Darren.
Okay. I've been planning to watch them.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to see that film he did with Unearthed Films, Evil Inco.
Yeah, that's a very good one. Actually.
Is it? Okay, I haven't seen that one yet. So
yeah, based on a real serial killer. That one's very creepy.
okay.
A little more psychological. It's not, super gory or anything, but it's very, very good. Yes. I can't remember the serial killer name off the top of my head, but it's a good one if you like true crime.
And he's some kind of Russian guy or something.
Yeah, he was what was it, the vampire of something in Russia. But I watched a couple of true crime stories on it, and I was like, man, I got to see him play this character.
Yeah, he's one of those actors that he does a lot, and there's a lot of crap, but if you dig, there's some excellent films, some really excellent films, and the killer is actually Andre Chikatilo. If you look into that, it's pretty grim stuff, but no, it was a good time. Swaggy G and we tried to pick up a couple ladies at the party that ended up being together. So you can hear the lesbian Chucky story on Piz's stream. That didn't go over too well, unfortunately. But
is Swaggy as smooth like in real life as he is on screen?
Swaggy was talking to both of them. They had a theme going. It was Chucky, Bride of Chucky. Didn't realize they were together, so we wasted a lot of time. But Swaggy was sitting there, and I was like, all right, Swaggy, I'm seeing the swag in person. This is impressive. And then, I kind of step in, we get the conversation going, and I think they were like just getting married or something. And so unfortunately that's how it goes. But Swaggy and I tried. So what can I say?
I mean, you could have offered the watch. If that's your thing, but
I don't know that would. I had my Mayor of Titty City hat on, so the fact that they talked to us at all was impressive. I think we did okay. Chat. What can I say? But
I'm thinking of just packing up and going home. Sam's missing, Lorne's dead apparently, and Dan's possessed by some horrible demonic thingamajig.
Now hold the hamster and take a squeeze pill. If we all just cut and run, it'll mean the end of Region Free.
Maybe it should end. We've all been talking about movies for years, trying to turn folks on to great lesser-seen movies, but they really just want us to talk about our favorite Scream masks and the hottest guys in the Halloween franchise. Maybe none of it matters.
If that's what you think, maybe you should just go. Get the fuck out. If all it takes is a disappearance, a murder, and a demonic possession to scare you off, maybe you're just not cut out for this. Go to TikTok or Instagram and do makeup tutorials.
What the fuck, Stone? This isn't worth our lives. Movies aren't worth dying for. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Movies are worth dying for. They're sure as shit better than our lives. Anyway, why else do we escape to Crystal Lake, Haddonfield, or even fucking Woodsboro every goddamn chance we get?
Now that didn't take long at all, did it?
there we go. Still possessed.
Yep.
So pro wrestling horror
The hottest
movie.
guys in Halloween, Ben Tramer. He's on fire, man.
I made that joke in the Region Free chat, dude.
Nice.
Pro wrestling horror films. So that's a rich history. I mean, we go back to obviously the Santo films.
Blue
Those
Demon.
are the vampires,
Blue Demon. Yeah, we can go really old school with that. So I'm kind of curious where everybody, I would have been really curious to see what Lorne would have done for this topic.
Lorne would not have done it.
I don't think Lorne hates the Santo films, though. So
that's an interesting thing, though, with wrestling still being popular, and especially with WWE and AAA working together, we've seen a rush on new horror films. We've seen a lot of remakes. Are you guys surprised that we haven't seen any remakes or new Santos movies?
That is kind of odd. I know Vampiro did something, but that's like 15 years ago now.
Yeah,
so
love that.
Yeah, so it's been a minute.
And then the guy who did, who was it? Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. He had done a series called Harry Knuckles, which was like a variation on James Bond. And he did one with a character playing Santos fighting the Aztec mummy. But that was the last time I remember seeing anything newer with that.
There's always been that sort of the Santo movies did cross over. You know, you had indies like Meat Market where you would have the luchador out there fighting the zombies. Enter the Zombie King was another indie that kind of did a wrestling theme. But it's been a particularly rich history in Mexico. I'm surprised they don't do it a little bit more in indie horror, because pro wrestlers, quite frankly, are a little more affordable. So, you know, and have name value as on the indie circuit. So
I think something like a remake or a modern retelling of Santo could work, especially today.
Feels, I know people will cringe, but it does kind of feel like a Rob Zombie thing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he seems like somebody that would potentially reboot it, get Danny Trejo in there somewhere as a trainer or an ex-wrestler. But hot tag, whoever wants to go first, like what do you think of when you think pro wrestling horror films?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I mean, I of course immediately go to Santo. You know, there was. It's funny when you look at how things come together in cycles, and you know, pro wrestling was very much the same way. You know, Daniel, I know you're a big wrestling fan. You know, we all remember the Attitude Era growing up, but even going back, especially in Mexico, the rich tradition of the luchadors, the masks. You're right. There's so much there culturally, historically. They're characters that you can get behind. They're superheroes without being Superman or Batman. Yeah. And I would just love to see something like that come back. Like I said, other than seeing, you know, the Harry Knuckles, and then you brought up Rob Zombie, El Super Beasto. Other than that, unless I've missed something, I haven't seen anything even remotely close.
I do have one that is from the last couple years, and it's actually pretty fantastic. It's from director Daniel Torres, and it is called Here for Blood. And this is a movie about a struggling pro wrestler who agrees to fill in for a babysitting job for his girlfriend. And what starts out as a quiet night of pizza and video games quickly spirals into bloody chaos as they find themselves fighting for their lives against an evil satanic cult. This is fun. It's a very light, just fun, goofy movie. It's got excellent gore, some really good practical effects, and there are a few indie wrestlers from the Canadian scene. Tyson Dukes is in it. You see a couple other people pop up, but Sean Roberts is really good in the lead role. It's one that I'm quite frankly surprised people haven't embraced a little more, because it's the perfect popcorn movie to sit down and watch with your friends. Like I said, Dee Snider is in this film, and I won't spoil it because it's his role is pretty wacky.
Is Sean Roberts? You mean Wesker from Resident Evil?
Wesker from
Resident Evil. God, I definitely need to see that now. Sorry,
Sam. It will get you through your cold. It will get you through your cold. It's a lot.
Excellent.
Of fun. Here for Blood. I highly recommend it. Great party film, and I was surprised how good it was, because I'm a little critical of wrestling movies. I mean, particularly now that we have a wrestling company, it's just, I don't know. You're something like Monster Brawl. It's like, it's fun, but I see all those like little things like that's not quite right. That's not accurate to the indie circuit. You know, different stupid things that the casual watcher's never going to notice. But this one's just a really good time, and I'm shocked. It really feels like it was made in the 90s. It's just a good B movie. So that's one recommendation I have. But how about you, Sam? You got one?
I want to know, actually, where's our La Parka movie? You would think that a guy that's dressed as a skeleton, where's my La Parka movie?
Yeah.
We need some more. Yeah.
Well, I ended up watching See No Evil 1 and 2 the other day. They were certainly of their time. A lot of eye gouging. We loved eye gouging in like 2006, dude. Holy shit. Black Christmas, that remake. But I like the second one better because it was directed by the Jesssessica sisters. And, obviously Catherine Isabel's in it, so of course I'm going to be there for that.
She's fantastic.
And Danielle Harris is in it. I didn't dislike the first one. I was just kind of like, by the time that they actually kill Jacob Goodnight at the end of that first one, he's taken so much damage, it doesn't even seem at all realistic how he comes back for the next one. Like, not even close. But, it was fine. I also saw Ready to Rumble for the first time, too.
You never watched Ready to Rumble?
Wait, I've seen clips. I didn't watch it all the way through.
Oh, wow.
I was a big grudge against Vince Russo for fucking putting the belt on David Arquette.
Well, that movie is a lot of fun. I think it actually is a good time. I haven't watched it in a minute, but it's actually kind of sad considering how many people in that movie are dead now. Yes. That's a downer, but
yeah. It was also a little weird. It's sort of like Rose McGowan shows up and she's David Arquette's love interest for like a few scenes, and it's like, do we know that's your sister, dude? I didn't know that. It just took me by. It was like, what the fuck is this?
Are you aware of the next idea that Vince McMahon wanted in See No Evil?
God, what was it?
So it was a flashback with Jacob Goodnight in the cage and everything, just establishing that he's been, mistreated. And Vince McMahon just apparently pitched like, all right, I want it to pan to him. And he's got like a 20-inch cock. That was like, and that is a movie directed by an adult film director who I think did say like, yeah, Vince, maybe a little much. Let's not do that. So.
I mean, this tracks with everything that I know about Vince McMahon.
I mean, what was he going to do? Was he going to recreate the scene from a Serbian film?
I just think it was just to show Kane with the giant Johnson. That was it. I don't know that it would have really factored into anything beyond that, but it would have amused Vince, I suppose. But
like, how are you even? What was See No Evil 2009, right? Was what?
2009, or I was going to say 2006. There's so many movies now.
Okay, because it's like by the time you get to See No Evil 3, you're back in the PG era.
See No Evil 2?
You're gonna get away with a fucking.
Oh, if they made a 3, she's saying.
Yeah, if they made a 3, like you're in the PG era at that point. How are you getting away with a 20-inch cock? Come on.
Well, with the current state of things now, though, and you looking at the Terrifier movies and how much money they made, you might be able to get away with it.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. Speaking of which, isn't Rhea Ripley in Terrifier 4? I mean, we had Jericho in Terrifier 2.
That's the rumor.
Yeah.
They'd be smart to cast Rhea Ripley. She'll bring some people to the theater for sure. I like the See No Evil movies. I think they're a good time. The Jesssessica sisters are interesting to me because I do feel like they've only really had the one excellent movie.
American Mary,
yeah. And they've always kind of been chasing that magic, but I think they made an entertaining slasher. Their movie they did with Big Show and Dean Cain, of all people, it was a pretty solid revenge movie.
What was that?
What was that one called? It's not a horror film. It's an action movie. Jesssessica sisters, Cain, Vendetta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of a bloody revenge movie. Big Show's the villain in it.
You know that speaking of the Jesssicas, they keep teasing doing a remake of Dead Ringers.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I think they just need to be given like a really good script like that. The last thing they did was Festival of the Dead, and it just, I don't know, it just felt like a lack of work issue. I know they're focusing on comic books, I think, now, but
that's right.
Yeah,
didn't they do the Rabbit remake as well?
They did.
Okay.
It's not the original. It has its moments, but it's not the original. But yeah, so Darren, I'm kind of curious to see what you've got. I've got one more, but I feel like somebody might take it, so I don't want to hog it.
Okay, I've got a couple that I can't recommend really. So first up is Mass Mutilator.
Oh, that is
man. So I bought this in a sale. This was really cheap. That's the only reason. And it's one of the biggest pieces of shit I think I've ever seen.
It is.
It was originally filmed in '94, but they do kind of the Silent Night, Deadly Night thing where they kind of rehash the old footage. And there's pretty much a reason why it wasn't, completed in '94, because honestly, it's really bad. You've got this former pro wrestler, and he's running this children's home. And all these kids are like in their 20s, mid-20s at least. It's kind of crazy. But needless to say, they all start getting bumped off one by one. But the whole reveal is just stupid because there's no way it can be this guy who's running the children's home because it'd be too obvious. And there's only one guy it could be, which it ends up being. And that kind of falls flat as well. There's loads of like bad fight scenes and karate kicks and all that shit. But it's 75 minutes long. It's like 30 minutes padding. And I'm not exaggerating. It's really bad. So I'd avoid that one. Quickly, just the other one I'll mention, because I think it qualifies, is Dolly, that was done 2025. Didn't you say there was a wrestler in the lead?
Max the Impaler. Yes.
Okay, so it does. Yeah, I was really disappointed with this one as well. The originality is just not there.
That's true.
It's pretty much like a Texas Chainsaw mixed with Tourist Trap remake. But that makes it sound good. You've got there's even like a dinner scene. There's a Marilyn Burns kind of jump out the window scene. They rip off Friday the 13th Part 2 in one scene where she's trying to appeal to the killer and calling him mummy and all that. The whole bit with Sean William Scott, something happens to him in the film and it's just stupid. And the way that plays out as well, it just looks so ridiculous to me. If I had to say one positive, I'd say the score was pretty good. I enjoyed the score. It's kind of creepy and all that, but nah, one for me.
I was surprised they didn't advertise Sean William Scott. I don't know if his star is just dim to the point, but they really didn't hype him up that he was in the movie at all, or Ethan Suplee.
He's not in it for long, really, if you think about it.
He's not, but yeah. Well, speaking of Malcolm McDowell's in movies for 3 minutes and has top billings. So,
right. But how did Dolly get theatrical release? Because that's beyond me. How that happened.
I liked it, but I am very forgiving of like backwoods horror stuff. Like I like it, and I don't know, it worked for me, but yeah, there's nothing original in it. Max is a very creepy villain. I will say the look of the character and everything, pretty amazing.
He's just kind of doing a Leatherface impression throughout the whole film for me. I
get that. I'm kind of happy to see people embracing new slashers, though, a little bit. Like, I know not everybody likes In a Violent Nature, but that's cool that like we're getting something else, that people aren't just waiting for the next Friday the 13th. Like they're actually embracing the art, the clowns, and some of these other slasher icons. I wish, Some of them were better in some cases, but it's cool. At least we're seeing some positive embracing the new situation. I know nobody picked it, but I do want to point out JG brought up River of Darkness with Kevin Nash, Sid, Kurt Angle. That is a piece of crap.
I've never seen it. I'm fascinated, though.
You have to see it. Oh, it is garbage. It is.
Oh my god!
Is it
great.
Perk Angle? Or Perk Angle?
That's Perk. That's prime Perk Angle era, I think, when they shot that. So, yeah, you get him in all his glory. I'll throw out one more piece of crap, just and I'll tag you in, Stone. This is one that nobody's seen. And the fact that it exists is so amusing. So during lockdown, Kevin Nash made a movie, if you want to call it that. It came out as Lockdown, but you can also find it as COVID-19 Invasion. And Kevin Nash plays a militia member named Rex, who is I can't even describe this. He's looking to kill off like all the homeless people in the world to, I don't know, prevent the disease from spreading. None of it really makes any sense. It is the most awful movie I think I've ever seen. And it's another one. I know a bad example, but there are a lot of bad wrestling themed movies. And to see Kevin Nash as this like crazy militia guy is pretty wild, because you watch Click This, that's not him. So those are two pieces of crap if you want bad movie nights. But Stone, I'm sure you have something way better than
I have something absolutely better. But what is that whooping sound that I'm hearing?
What sound?
I stopped hearing
it. Yeah,
It's bad.
I don't know.
It's not me. I know that.
I don't.
Do you want us to all mute and see who it is? Or?
All right, now it's quiet.
Chris, is it the fan? I don't know.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I think that was it. Well,
it's gone now. Now it's back. I don't know.
It's like sporadic now.
Go for it, Stone.
Okay, all right. So initially when I heard the topic, I thought it was both wrestling horror and wrestling stars in movies. And initially I started thinking wrestling horror. Well, I can't really think of any, so we got a problem there. But what I decided to do, do my own little thing here. I decided to look up on Google how many movies focus exclusively on women's wrestling. And I came up with 5.
Yeah.
5, only 5. Can anybody guess any of the 5?
It's got to be Queen of the Ring for sure.
Queen of the Ring is one of them.
Let's see, women's wrestling. There's an obscure one about a female wrestler in Mexico. It's like a romantic comedy, and I can't think of the title.
I think I know what you're talking about, but what I decided to do was, okay, I'm going to take a quick look at all 5 of these women's wrestling movies, and whichever one I like best, I'll proclaim her the champion. Okay. This is going to be fun. Movie number 1 is from 1951 called Racket Girls, a.k.a. The Pin Down Girl, or a.k.a. Pin Down Girls.
Oh.
And yes,
nice.
It stars Peaches Page, who was promoted as having the most amazing body in Hollywood. But because this is an exploitation movie and this is only like 50 minutes long, we don't know anything about Peaches Page, obviously. I mean, I tried to do a lookup and I couldn't find anything on her. But this movie does feature Clara Mortensen, who, of course, is a women's champion from back in the 50s. And but this film the Pin Down Girl, which is the second of this Kino set. I really like these Forbidden Fruits series Blu-rays that they put out. They're really a lot of fun.
Old school exploitation. They're really good.
Oh, yes. I mean, but this movie really has nothing to do with women's wrestling. It's just about the racketeers that run it as a business. And of course, what's fascinating is this is back when women's wrestling was virtually illegal around many parts of the country. And to see it depicted in this, it's actually funny because like we get that match between Panther Woman and Cheater Gal. And of course, it's just the women wearing Halloween masks going into the ring and then duking it out. I mean, there isn't much to say about this, but if you guys watch it, please go with the MST3K version, which is called Racket Girls, because there's more wrestling footage to pan it out just a little bit more. I mean, it's only an hour long, but I mean, that's about as much historical value as this movie gets. Number 2, the second women's wrestling movie I found is a 1980 movie called Below the Belt. Actually, it was filmed in 1974, and it wasn't given a release until 1980 after the Rocky films had proven very successful. And this is a Kino Blu-ray with an audio commentary that came out a few years ago. I got this actually super cheap. But it was a very interesting story based on a real-life wrestler who wrote a book about her misadventures on the road doing the sport. And she was known as the Mexican Spitfire, where she started out as a waitress and she became a women's wrestler, traveling around the Midwest with other women's wrestlers who were really just working for peanuts. It's really, I mean, there isn't a lot of wrestling in this movie, which I think is its weak spot. But as far as capturing that time on the road, as far as what they do, it's actually pretty fascinating. That movie Below the Belt was released by MGM in 1980, and for some reason MGM decided to go full out in 81 and make a wrestling tag team, female wrestling tag team movie called All the Marbles. With Columbo.
Yeah,
that was MGM's whole pitch on this, was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna have Columbo and a female tag team wrestling team known as the California Dolls. And this, it's not as fun as it wants to be. My problem is, even though there's a lot of wrestling, I mean, if you want the wrestling, this has got the wrestling, okay? There's like a whole 30-minute third act, which is all at Reno, Nevada at the MGM Grand Hotel. And you know that because the MGM Lion is on the bottom of the platform as they're doing all this wrestling. I mean, there's like a good 45 minutes of wrestling in All the Marbles. But you just wish that they had given these women more personality, more character dimension, arcs, and everything, because it's really all about Columbo and how he gets his dolls to do these specific things. Like there's mud wrestling involved. There is TNA. I mean, MGM was like, cornering a specific market, I think, for this movie, but it bombed.
I was going to say I saw that movie one time.
Forever ago.
Yeah.
Everybody from Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel to, everybody pretty much in 81 gave it a negative review. I will say here again, if you want the wrestling, this has got the wrestling. Okay. It's just a shame that they didn't give Columbo and the California Dolls more character meat to chew on.
It's kind of tough to do like a wrestling movie in general, because I mean, do you keep kayfabe? Like, how do you kind of approach it? Oh, very cool. I might have to revisit it because, like I said, that was a one-time watch for me. I'm glad you brought it up.
I do warn you, it's 113 minutes, and here again, about 35 of that is just pure wrestling. So, I mean, but then again, number 4.
Do we get to see Columbo do a spot though? Does he come in there and like hit a I don't know, a power bomb on somebody.
You know, you kind of
excuse me, got one more pin.
You hope for that. Yes, you hope for that, and that never happens. Our old friends at Trauma Entertainment in 1982, they put out the fourth contender, which it's garbage. Okay, I'm just going to say it right now. It's garbage. It's called Ferocious Female Freedom Fighters.
Yeah.
And basically what they did was they took this Indonesian quote unquote action movie, which I mean, is there women's wrestling in it? Yeah, there's a little bit, but a lot of it is basically just in boring Indonesian gymnasiums.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I saw the original version of this, not the Trauma version, because the Trauma version, they take out like a half hour and they replace all the dialogue with like, you know, farts and spits and moans and groans and curses and just a bunch of crap. Okay, it's not like Mystery Science Theater 3000, which like roasts what you see on screen. It just basically just vulgarizes everything. The original Indonesian version, which is 90 minutes, I would say it's barely watchable. I mean, I would rather you guys check out Pin Down Girls instead. But it's just Trauma. It's just I don't know what their deal is with how they did movies back in the 80s. You know, I've seen their sexy comedies, quote unquote, that made them huge, and it just no, all of them were crap. All of them were crap. And so it's like, okay, well, you're just taking somebody else's work and you're just, you know, basically farting on it. You know,
Trauma was known for like re-editing some movies and redubbing them.
Yeah.
And sometimes it helped, to be honest, because there was nothing there in some cases. But
in this particular case, I did prefer the original version, even though it was dull. Very, very dull to watch. It was dull as dishwater. But I mean, do you get a few women's wrestling scenes? Yes, you do. So it does kind of qualify. And finally, number 5 in who is basically the winner, of course, is Queen of the Ring. Queen of the Ring is a 2.5-hour powerful movie about you know, about the Queen of the Ring. I mean, why is her name escaping me at the moment?
Lena Headey was, I'm trying to remember.
Mildred Burke.
Mildred Burke.
Yeah, Mildred Burke.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm on the Page movie. My bad.
Oh my God!
What's funny?
I forgot about that movie.
What's funny is that the California Dolls, actually, those actors were actually sent to a school run by Mildred Burke, and Mildred Burke actually plays the trainer in the beginning of Below the Belt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So just to give you an idea of how, you know, she's basically this whole genre. She basically is. I mean, her, you know, it's just all over it. I mean, aside from Peaches Page, who, you know, sadly is given this nice little Blu-ray and we'll never know who she is. But I mean, you know, Queen of the Ring is where it's at. It tells a very compelling story about how this woman became, you know, the most well-known female wrestler of all time, and it does deserve to be seen. And it's going to be getting a Blu-ray here very soon. It's going to come out in either June or July. I can't say for sure what bonus features there will be, if any, on there, but you know, here again, even though Queen of the Ring is ultimately the champion, I mean, you know, I had a soft spot for all the marbles. It's got a crappy title. You know, Columbo tries to be ingratiating and he's just comes off as weird. You know, if you love wrestling, I'd say make that a second watch. But
yeah, that is the best recent movie about wrestling.
Oh,
if you're a diehard
Queen of the Ring, period. Yeah,
Iron Claw was also very good, but I think Queen of the Ring edged it out for me. But It was very strange because it's like I sat down to watch Queen of the Ring and I'm like 2 minutes in and there's fucking Jim Cornette on my screen. Like, what the fuck is this? I didn't even know it was in the movie. Who's he, Jack Pfeffer?
And as much as oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I know he was like an official. I don't remember who he was supposed to be playing.
Yeah, I can't remember.
There's a lot of wrestling. Camille's in there.
Yeah, Tony Storm.
Yeah, Tony Storm's in there. That's a very good movie. I'd actually say it might be better than Iron Claw.
I think it is. I mean, no shade to Zac Efron. He did a great job, but it's like I almost feel like you needed to include the other Von Erich.
Mm-hmm.
It was like you left one out.
And I think it should have been more transparent with their deaths.
I think it was transparent, at least for Carrie. Carrie,
they soften a few things.
They do. Yeah.
But
I understand not wanting it to be too depressing, but it's to be expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Queen of the Ring gets a high recommendation because I do feel like there is a lot of crap about wrestling when it comes to the film world, and that one is anything but. That was a very, very well made movie. I have one more. Does anybody else have any that they haven't gotten to?
I have a question. Do you think we'll ever get a Chris Benoit movie?
No.
Oh no.
Sorry,
I
I had to do it.
Yeah. Even if they try to do it under the guise of like, we want to help people with this condition, even though the wrestling just doesn't want to acknowledge it, pretty much.
The family will fight it, and they can't promote a movie when you've got the family acting shitting on it. Yeah.
The only way that they could do that, and we all know what a long shot this would be, is if there was actually a conspiracy that could have been proved. Like if it turned out all along that, God forbid, Kevin Sullivan was behind all of it, yes, you would see a movie. But if they never find out that, he wasn't the killer, they'll never do it.
Yeah, it would either, the only way you could do it is if it's like a really small indie that just doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that's going to be tough going if you've got the family openly fighting. This has been talked about. I mean, not seriously, but I've had conversations with people who've said, like, do you think we could do it? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't think there's any way, not without losing a ton of money and nobody wanting to touch it. So
the producers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. But I have one more.
Wrestler in a horror movie, they live.
Yep.
Yeah. Piper's the man. Best wrestling actor ever.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Hell Comes to Frogtown is great. Hell Comes to Frogtown is great. I fuck for freedom is always like a quote on Flesh Wound. Rowdy Piper, The Rock may make huge movies. Most of it is streaming garbage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rowdy Piper is the GOAT when it comes to wrestler actors.
I have never seen a good movie with The Rock in it, except maybe like that. Except like I enjoyed Be Cool.
Yeah.
And that was not a big part though.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like I honestly hate to be this way. I think he's kind of like, I guess he's making enough at the box office though, but it's like those movies are kind of terrible.
They're all forgettable. I mean, that's the thing. They're expensive, but you'll forget about just most everything that he's made in about 2 seconds. There's a few fun ones. Ironically, not as bigger movies, but
Baywatch is not one of them.
No, Skyscrapers.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, Nev Campbell.
Zac Efron and The Rock in the Baywatch movie. Oh, God,
oh my goodness,
terrible.
I forgot that existed too.
It's the one black mark on Damien Swift and Shannon's writing resume because they wrote Freddy versus Jason, then the Friday the 13th reboot, Then they wrote Baywatch, but then they wrote Send Help, which made up for Baywatch. So.
Send Help was good.
I'm sorry. Like the middle of Freddy versus Jason is some of the geez, guys.
Not my arm.
Freddy died by fire, Jason by water. How can we use that?
They got through it though. Thankfully, they did.
They got through it. So I have one last one that a lot of people may have forgot, and this I'm going to be really quick. But WrestleManiac. Has anybody seen this?
I have that, and I haven't watched it yet.
I've got that as well. I've never seen it. Yeah,
WrestleManiac.
It's good, dumb fun. It's about a group of people who are going to shoot an amateur porn film in the middle of nowhere for some odd reason, as they do. It stars, but they run into the legendary El Mascarado, played by Rey Mysterio. A lot of angry reviews of this film back in the day because people just heard Rey Mysterio and they're assuming WWE Rey Mysterio and it's his uncle. So a lot of people were angry. My favorite review, which I don't know where it was and I haven't been able to find it, but it was just Rey Mysterio got fat. And like that's like the whole review. And I just thought it was funny that so many people were mad.
How many people does Rey Mysterio kill?
It's not a massive body count. He probably kills about 6 people in this movie, 6 or 7 people. Yeah, it's anybody that remembers Layla Milani, one of the Divas search. There's not a lot to remember. She was
Layla L.
Yes, Layla Milani. Layla Milani is in this, not Michelle McCool's tag partner, but Layla Milani. Believe me, there's not a lot to remember. She was just random diva search from what I recall. Okay. But yeah, they run afoul of Rey Mysterio, who just kills a lot of people. Erwin Keyes is in the film. He's always a lot of fun, the late great Erwin Keyes. And if you want something really, really stupid, and this is stupid, but it is a good time if you just want a dumb, fun slasher film. So one other one I'll throw out there. There's not a lot to dissect on this one, but Ray uses some different wrestling moves to kill people. And yeah, it's fun. So anything else for pro wrestling movies?
No, I think we got all of them.
We're not doing Leprechaun.
You're absolutely sure you want us to do this, right?
Don't get cold feet on us now, boys. This has got to be done.
What did we do? I can't do this anymore.
Damn. All right. Plot thickens.
Before we get into it, we're gonna bounce because my obviously can't talk anyway, but also it's a work night, so
it was good seeing you, and thanks for soldiering.
Yeah,
cold.
Yeah, I wish I could stay later. I'm sorry, guys, but y'all have a good one, okay?
It would suck you having to stick it out through the whole Face of the Death franchise being sick. I would feel really bad.
I tried watching it when I was up in the middle of the night sick, and I was like, no, my brain is like, nope, it's too realistic. We don't like this. That's why I noped right out of it. But hey, anybody who likes Faces of Death, good for you guys. Just more for you.
Well, you take care, Sam. Good seeing you, Chris, as well.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Mike. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one. Good night. So with that segue, I guess we can might as well jump into Faces of Death. Why not? So the best place I think to start with Faces of Death, and we're all we're all a little bit older, or maybe Faces of Death, I think, existed before any of us did by a little bit, maybe not quite. But I think we're all old enough to remember the hype behind the Faces of Death tape. So I think that's a good place to start how we discovered Faces of Death, which, Darren, I'm curious, being in the UK, what your story with Faces of Death is, if anything. Maybe this was kind of hard to get there. I don't know.
Back in the day, yeah, when this was actually I think it was late 70s, wasn't it? This came out.
78 was the first.
So you had the whole kind of video nasties thing, and I'd never heard of this, or if I did, I vaguely remember maybe, it was kind of one of these holy grails that you couldn't get hold of. And I didn't actually see this till about 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I remember it being really shocking then, but kind of as time goes on, you get desensitized to it a little bit. I remember on that first viewing as well, some of the scenes were really hokey, and I just knew, like, the alligator attack, the man who goes berserk, kills his family, and the electric chair and the orgy and all that stuff. I knew that wasn't real, but they kind of like throw in some real stuff in there to kind of, do you know what I mean? To get you, and all that stuff is just like plane crashes and you see victims and all that. I just don't think this film like works today like it did back in the day, because if you think about it now, you've got the Charlie Kirk death, for instance, right? So I saw him being murdered from 3 different angles within 10 minutes of it happening, and that to me is shocking, So this stuff, Faces of Death, doesn't really kind of do much for me now.
It's tough when you see it like now. Like, I know a lot of younger people are revisiting it, and I'm like, my Twitter feed's more fucked up than any Faces of Death.
Oh yeah, this was on Facebook. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And the Luca Magnotta, I know I mentioned it before, but that kind of snuff film that he made is widely available if you look in the right places on the internet. For me, like, I would say these films are like one-time watches. I remember some scenes that stick out in the sequels. I remember, so there's a Welsh boxer called Johnny Owen that lives literally right by me.
Yeah.
And you see him literally get killed with one punch in the ring.
Oh, it's brutal.
Which kind of stuck with me. You got the Bud Dwyer suicide as well. That was kind of really bad. Where you see the blood kind of gushing and it's really nasty. But I want to say, in the new film, the new Faces of Death film, isn't that kind of like a loose remake on the Thesis film from '96, the Spanish film?
Not exactly.
Okay.
I guess I see what you're saying, but it's what it needed to be as far as the basic premise of it. Okay. You're not going to fool anybody now, like, especially if you're going theatrical with Faces of Death. It's like, okay, cool. Like, we're not just going to shoot death vignettes and try and pass them off as real to anybody. Although Megan is Missing fooled a lot of people on TikTok, so go figure. You can sometimes dupe people, but I discovered this through my brother, because Faces of Death, my brother wasn't a big he's 12 years older than me, not a big horror fan, but he had the tape. So, and I knew about it. I was an avid Gloria reader from being very little, and Gore Zone and just everything I could get my hands on. And I just snuck and I got it out of his room and I watched it. And to me, at that age, not knowing anything about filmmaking, I was very young, I could tell this wasn't like a normal movie. So I was like, I'm watching real shit. Like, I just was young enough to accept that it was all legit, and it was pretty unsettling at the time. It took a while to get to see the other one, because he didn't have those, but as the advertising campaign says, it was like a rite of passage. So it did its job. Looking at it now, it's like, yes, I can tell the monkey scene is bullshit. I can see the, knowing about filmmaking. But lot of people thought this was real, and I kind of miss that era where you could be tricked. And yes, how about you, Mike? How did you first discover Facebook?
I mean, I don't remember exactly. I remember renting it in 1996 from a video store in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'd always heard the hype, and it was just finally being old enough to get my own rental card and going and renting the film. And what stood out a lot to me about it was initially, you didn't know if what you were looking at was 100% real or if it was fake. And I think that was one of the things that was really credible and nice about the film. It harkens back to films like Mondo Kane, who showed real life atrocities and things like that. And then you have the hype that comes from, like Cannibal Holocaust, to intercut of real death with film, and it confuses the mind. And I think the people that made the original Faces of Death knew that and understood it even back in 78. And it's had such a profound effect on filmmaking and the way things are done. You look at, Cannibal Holocaust more, but films like Faces of Death and things like that, that's why you have some of the rules that you do about what you can show in film in terms of actual violence, animal death, and things like that. I think it's pretty unique how they are using the new film, because, of course, it's not quite the same as the original. I agree with Daniel in the sense that it's a lot like, they're promoting it a lot like Megan is Missing. It's a movie now, because it seems like more and more movies, they all have to have a deeper social commentary. They all have to have a meaning. And I think that the new one is talking about how we have become so desensitized that, now we don't know with AI, hell, we don't know half of what we see today is real.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, in the new one, it's kind of, I won't give everything away, but it's it's not a remake. I will say that it is kind of somebody inspired by the tapes is the general way they went about it. And it's tough because, if somebody told me I have to remake or reimagine Faces of Death, I don't know exactly what avenue I would take. Your only option to make it quote unquote true to the original is if you had like Stephen Biro and Unearthed Films do something. You could certainly fuck up the original Faces of Death, but we also had all those cash-ins like Traces of Death that did more twisted shit in them, and but they weren't the same, because at that point, we all had cable news, we all saw some of this awful stuff, in real time. And so
had more real stuff though, didn't it? It was a lot more of like the cartel executions and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had a lot more like just stuff that at that point you could see, because we're getting deeper into the 90s, and it was shocking, but you got to think 78, like most people are not used to seeing this kind of stuff. So it was long over by the time that you got to Traces of Death. It was kind of just a niche novelty at this point. A lot of people in the mainstream were aware of Faces of Death. It was just that notorious thing. You'd go over to your buddy's house and it's like, I've got the tape, and you'd watch it, and it would be like, super like taboo that you're watching like real stuff. It's an experience. I'm not a huge Faces of Death fan. Like, I'll be honest. Like, it's not. I don't have Faces of Death on my wall or anything. But
it's like a one-time watch in a way, really, unless you're doing research for something like this. But it would have played better actually thinking about it, I missed the VHS days, so I think it would have played better on watching it on a VHS. And certainly by the time I come into things 20 years ago, it's all over the internet, what's fake, what's not. So I'd have liked to have literally gone back to the 70s and watched it the way it should be watched. But yeah.
What was it, 2 years ago when Walmart released the 4-disc collection?
In Walmart, wasn't that wild? Like,
shocking to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more mainstream than being able to buy something in a Walmart. And that 4-disc Oregon video thing, I was like, that has to be some kind of a fuck up. Somebody tried to return something that they bought on the website or something. And yeah, that was
well, I mean, like, as a collector too, like for some of your younger viewers who may not know, there was almost a 25-year period where it was not reprinted. Like, you had to go out and find the old VHS or the old DVD because they weren't written those for the longest time.
Yeah, I think I want to say 2008 was this Blu-ray release. And you cannot sell this on eBay.
Yeah, they don't.
You can buy it in Walmart, but you can't sell it on eBay, which to me is just absolutely wild. And this was, the filmmakers came from the kind of nature film doc. In fact, it was an Italian-made movie called The Great Hunt, which was kind of about the process of animal slaughter. It was a big hit in Japan, and the financiers approached them and they shot an autopsy teaser. They said, give us a movie, basically, is how Faces of Death.
Wasn't there like controversy over the director as well? No one knew who directed this film for a long time. And I think Michael Felcher does an audio track on that Blu-ray you have. It's certainly on my old DVD I got of it. And it explains kind of why the director didn't come forward at, around that time. There's a big mystery thing. No one knew who it was for the longest time.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that kind of tried to keep their names off of it. But Stone, how about you? Faces of Death. I sense you're not a big Faces of Death guy.
It's funny. Look, I mean, Faces of Death is what I would call a schoolyard movie. Back in the VHS days, this is the movie that kids would talk about on the schoolyard. Like, oh my God, you got to check this out. I saw it looks so real. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people that thought the Blair Witch Project was real too, and I knew from the beginning that was, an actual production. But I mean. Okay, so I didn't see Faces of Death until the 30th anniversary Blu-ray that Dan was just holding there, because I did the review for it for DVD Verdict, and not to brag, but it's one of the few reviews that was pull quoted for Wikipedia.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And the actual quote is, quote, "The YouTube generation will be unable to comprehend what purpose the film served 30 years ago, and thus it's difficult to ignore how hopelessly dated Faces of Death really is. In short, it's a cinematic experiment which has long outlived its effects, although it remains compelling for film and horror buffs viewing the film in the proper perspective. For the curious virgins, I say give it a shot, only if you can handle what has been described up until this point. If you can get through Faces of Death, you can get through just about anything." So yeah, I actually gave it a more than positive review, which I was actually very surprised about. But here again, one and done. I mean, and I didn't think watching the sequels, quote unquote, would be any more illuminating than the first one was. I mean, if you're just going to recycle Death's footage, if you're just going to recycle the same thing over and over, well, guess what? I have a limit to that. 105 minutes of the original Faces of Death was really all I needed. I did try watching the second one, but I didn't turn it off because I was repulsed at what I saw. I was like, well, I've seen enough of this, but I did see the remake last night. this is what Scream 7 should have been.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, this is what Scream 7 should have been. This film is a lot more self-aware, a lot more meta. It wants us to accept the fact that the Faces of Death movies actually exist in this world, and that they might have spurned a serial killer into doing a bunch of copycat killings based on the original Faces of Death, and remaking the movie, essentially trying to go viral and that kind of thing. I mean, I like how they twist it for the 21st century and how they make it about more than just, oh, is it real? Is it fake? And I like how it's told from the point of view of a one of those YouTube controllers that's able to say, like, is this
content moderator?
Yeah, content moderator. Yeah, which it actually sounds like a fun job. You know, where they add the additional comments in certain boxes and they say, okay, flag this, flag that. You know, which of course, opens up a whole can of censorship worms, and essentially, the new movie made me think, and it was illuminating in the same way the original was, but this time, here again, it's a fictional narrative treating the movie series as real, and we have a new serial killer with basically a new mask. Here again, I mean, I couldn't help but think, okay, in the early 80s, we had Faces of Death, and then we had the slasher films. And this film kind of combines that, and it's way better than I had ever would have expected. It's I can't say for sure if I want to return to it. It's very questionable if I want to return to anything in this franchise. I would say, look, I think the writer and director did a terrific job, but I would also tell them, you don't need to make any more. You don't need to make any more. I know. It's gonna be tempting if this makes money, but do you think it will do well?
I don't know that it's doing well enough. I mean, it's weird because you have name stars, Charlie XCX, a big pop
Charlie
star
XCX,
in
yeah.
there. Barbie, I can never say her last name. Farrah from Euphoria is in it, so it had names. I think the big strength of the new movie is Dacre Montgomery's killer. Like, I thought he was very creepy and very game.
He was.
A lot just depends what you're looking for out of a new Faces of Death. Really going into this, like, it's a perfectly solid slasher. If you're looking for the fucked up side of it, it's no more fucked up than a Scream movie. And that's, maybe
right. I've heard, like, everyone I've spoken to about it said it's pretty bad. I think it's like the best review I've heard. But it's got me kind of interested now with the slasher angle, because I had no idea of that. So, and I'm a slasher fan, so, and that kind of interests me a little bit more. So I will give it a go. I will give it. Is it kind of a snuff film? Is all that? Is that a thing in the film as well? Like a plot point?
Yeah, I won't reveal everything.
Yeah, don't give it away.
But yeah, and you'll see some callbacks to Faces of Death. So,
okay. I'll give it a go.
If you're a fan, you might like it, Darren. I'm not 100% sure where you'll fall on this one, but it was interesting. I didn't hate it. Barbie does have some off acting moments, is my opinion. It's particularly towards the end. Like, when the shit really starts hitting the fan, I'm like, she kind of felt like she was just out of acting school in a way. Like, I like her. I like her on Euphoria and some of the other things she's done, but she was a little bit off at that point. So it kind of had the right ingredients. I have no issues with what they did with the story. But I'm curious to see. I haven't talked to many people yet who've seen it, so I'm not sure if horror fans are going to embrace the new Faces of Death or not. I'm really not too sure. I feel like more likely than not, it's going to be another horror movie that's just kind of forgotten. And
I'm hoping that this movie will do well because we've seen recently, and again, I can point back to the Terrifier series, but extreme horror is showing that there is an audience. Extreme horror is showing that there are people that want to see it, who want to pay money for it. Part of the reason that I enjoy these harder edged horror films being in theaters, at least around me, you can call me the old man shouting at the clouds or get off my grass, whatever you want to call it, they don't let underage kids into these movies. You can actually enjoy them as an adult. I don't have the teenagers running around the theater. I don't have the little kids screaming and laughing and running up and down the aisles. I wish this is something that we could see more of, not. And also the other thing is, and it's not to be insensitive to everybody, not every horror film that comes out needs to have a sparkling social commentary about it. Sometimes we just want to see people get fucked up on camera.
Yeah, no, exactly. I always felt like the NC-17 rating should be employed more. Because sometimes when you look at some NC-17 films, which ironically we are going to talk about one in a minute, sometimes it's not that much more. It's just like a little, use that rating more, push it a little bit further. And because I'll tell you, in my experience and being in the Atlanta suburbs, we get a good mix of people here, but most of the people you see at a lot of these movies aren't young teenagers anymore. They're people my age. That's kind of what I see. So don't be afraid to use an NC-17 rating. I don't think it necessarily has to be a movie anymore.
Showgirls is the one that fucked it up for us.
Yeah, Showgirls did.
It's supposed to be the first NC-17 rated horror movie in the United States. And because Showgirls screwed it up, everyone thought NC-17 meant hard sex, and it screwed up the rating. And I don't know if we're ever really going to get that back. I think we may just go with unrated.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I just always felt like, I don't know, it would be actually, I like the idea of knowing that there's not going to be any kids in there, but you have assholes in their 20s texting and doing all the bad shit too. So
I was gonna say, guys, there were kids in my screen last night.
Are you?
Yeah, there were elementary school children watching Faces of Death in the Alamo Draft House that I saw it in. Now, to be fair to them, they were, for the most part, quiet. They weren't running around the theater. They weren't making a fuss. They weren't causing scenes or anything. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's parents' discretion. I mean, yeah, I when I see something like 300 Rise of an Empire and you get this horrible hate fuck sequence that goes on for like 20 minutes, I think, there's no reason for kids to be watching this. Faces of Death,
they've probably seen worse when it comes to the new one, to be
probably, but
it's not really
any more or less offensive than Megan is Missing.
Megan is Missing, I think. Of course, all of the more fucked up stuff there comes towards the end, but I don't think there's anything in this that rivals the ending of that movie. The ending of Megan is Missing is very, very effective, and I think you could argue that's a movie probably some kids should watch just to know, hey, this evil, wicked shit is out there. You got to be careful. Don't repeat these mistakes because, wow. No, I think Megan is Missing is a much more effective film. The new Faces of Death is kind of just a modern slasher. It has its moments. I'm kind of mixed on it. I will close this though by saying, by the time you get to Faces of Death 4, it is so fucking goofy. It's a different experience. We've got a topless water skier in Faces of Death 4. Like, it gets really dumb. But that movie, there is some fun to be had. Like, if you go into it, I don't think that movie fooled anybody in 1990 at that point. Like, it's really just everything pretty much is bullshit in Faces of Death 4. You get some cremation type stuff, I guess, that might have been real, but the leech scene is ridiculous. Just everything about that movie is just so stupid that you might be entertained by parts.
Do you think by that point though they were almost doing it as like a parody? Was that the final one, Dan, or was there more that followed?
So that gets a little confusing because in 87, actually before that, there was the worst of Faces of Death, which replaces the doctor character with Dr. Flellis. But other than that, it's just a clip show. So Faces of Death 4 is the last official, and then you get into the Traces of Death. You get into like all of the knockoff. Death Faces was another. And yeah, that we're doing on Flesh Wound Features a really in-depth dive into that and then the knockoffs. So if you're that invested in Faces of Death, you can kind of see some of that. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. I would tell everybody, watch the first movie, as it's an important film in the genre. So you should experience it once just to say that you did. And honestly, after that, I think you'll know if you have any interest in checking out the sequels. You know,
I'm like Stonish. I can't see myself ever going back to rewatching it.
It's just sad today will never know what it was. It was like when, people our age, I remember the first time I got my hands on that, it was like, holy shit, I've actually got it. I'm going to see it. And these people today they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And now, I mean, the Faces of Death experience is scrolling Twitter. That's what it is. I mean,
you got 10-year-olds watching all these beheadings and shit going down on the internet.
Look, I've seen some, like, Twitter, I mean, has hardcore porn and every awful thing you could imagine. I mean, they'll pull some of it, but like that's why there's really probably no room for Faces of Death anymore. But you always have the original, and you can go back and imagine what that was like in 78 and the 90s or whenever us dinosaurs finally
It is surprisingly they haven't gone the route of maybe doing an updated version with like the killing of Charlie Kirk and with all the kind of stuff, the real stuff that's been going on recently.
Don't give them any ideas.
No, I don't want to.
I mean, okay, can I just say in my I got an addendum here because I'd like to say that, look, watching Faces of Death was the equivalent of, to me, watching like a film strip in high school back in the 70s and 80s. Just, if you know, it has that special, atmosphere to it. I found out, I read recently that if you remember the old 70s Unsolved Mysteries like show called In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy, there were people that worked on In Search Of that also worked on Faces of Death, I think, in terms of the editing of the footage and everything. And it makes sense considering the movie's documentary-like nature. That's the one thing about Faces of Death I like, enough to say, yeah, it should be seen, but you only need to see it once. Whether this remake, I don't think we need to expand this franchise anymore. Bottom line, I just don't think we need to.
No, I think we're good. So let's get on to something a little bit more classy, but also.
Well, shit, a high school That's not so bad. Not compared to mummy-infested freighter ships, post-apocalyptic parallel universes, or Midwestern towns besieged by werewolf bikers. I think I can probably just watch some anime and collect a few packs of Pokemon cards and I'll be able to blend right in like John Cryer in Hiding Out. Hell, I should probably download TikTok and start rubbing Burt's Bees lip balm on my eyelids as some sort of idiotic challenge. The kids will never even know I'm here. Maybe I don't even have to go back to the Waldemar and hang out with any of those region-free losers ever again. This really ain't bad at all. Ah, for fuck's sweet sake. Really? I mean, really.
Nice. Read Lorne's books. Read Lorne's book. You'll understand. So up next, talking about one of the great filmmakers ever, in my opinion, or certainly one of the most discussed. I don't know if everybody will agree. 1989, Santa Sangra from director Alejandro Jodorowsky. And if you're unfamiliar, this movie follows a circus artist who escapes from a mental hospital to rejoin his armless mother, the leader of a strange religious cult, and is forced to enact brutal murders in her name as she uses his arms. Severin put out a beautiful 4K edition of this, and another one. I don't think we've really talked too much about Jodorowsky really on the show. I know we've never done El Topo or Holy Mountain or anything. I think we've talked in passing about the whole Dune story and what a lot of people call the greatest movie never made, which would have been Jodorowsky's Dune, and that great documentary they did on that, which I recommend to anybody who just has an interest in film in general. Jodorowsky's Dune is a great doc. What do you got? Whoever wants to go first, what do you guys think about Jodorowsky in general and this crazy little NC-17 horror film, Santa Sangra?
Right, I can go first if you want.
This
is I've never seen anything that he's done before.
Oh, really?
And this was Dirk's choice as well. So this was produced by Claudio Argento, Dario Argento's brother, and there's a scene later on that kind of makes a bit of sense. But I heard all the crazy stories about this one before I'd even seen it. And within the first 10 minutes, I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck am I watching? And then once I realized what I was getting myself into, I kind of warmed a little bit more to it. But definitely influenced by Freaks. I think it's a big kind of nod to the Italian slasher film as well, where you've got the tattooed woman. She's getting stabbed in this very kind of stylish, weirdly playing with like this Mexican song in the background. I was surprised it's like late 80s because it kind of got like a contemporary feel about it. Like I thought for sure it was like a late 90s, 2000 film, early 2000s. It's almost like an incoherent lot of kind of vignettes all thrown together, which kind of go together and maybe not go together. It's kind of weird in that, definitely not for the easily offended. It exploits dwarfs, Down syndrome people, heavy set
doing
people,
cocaine.
You name it. Yeah. And of course, there's like a wrestling scene in this as well. But for me, I kind of liked it, but it's not one I'm going to go back to or buy or anything like that. It's kind of, I'd like to hear Dirk come on and say what he thinks of it, really, but because I know he loves it, but it's okay. It's okay.
The story behind this is pretty fascinating because, it's a long story. I won't get into all of it, but the director actually had coffee with serial killer Goyo Cardenas, who is known as the Tacuba Strangler. He murdered 17 women, and he introduced himself to Jodorowsky because he was a fan of his comic strip artwork, which is famously what Alejandro moved on to after the Dune debacle. And he told the director he was institutionalized for a decade, but then went on to become a lawyer, published author, and even a family man, which is wild. It's a crazy story that he had coffee with this guy, but it kind of formed that sort of some of the redemption themes in the movie, the criminal nature of humanity, and all those good things. I that's just wild that he just randomly had coffee with this, again, 17 women this guy killed, and he went on to, I guess, lead a somewhat normal life. I don't quite know how that works, but I really like this movie, but you really have to have a taste for surrealist horror. I mean, he was going to have Salvador Dali star in his Dune movie, so you kind of know. Yeah, you're going to get something interesting no matter what with Jodorowsky, and I've had the pleasure of seeing all of his movies at different midnight film screenings, and it's he's an acquired taste, but I love him. I'm Stone. What's your history with Jodorowsky? You're Stone.
Or Holy Mountain. But I have seen Jodorowsky's Dune, which is an awesome documentary, like you said earlier.
Good. Yeah.
It is good, and he's still with us. He's 97. He's not stopping.
No,
he's not stopping. He's from what I understand. I mean, he needs to make. I think he still has one more film he needs to make, like the third part of a trilogy or something.
That would be some kind of a record. I mean, he'll be probably 100 before, I'd love to see it, but at the same time, I don't know that I'd like to see it at this point. I don't know.
I was actually fascinated by Santo Sangre, but at the same time, I found it almost overwhelming in its surreal, the surreal sauce, I guess you could say. It was almost, there was a point where it just got too much for me, I gotta say, and it wasn't due to being repulsed or anything like that. It was just it I'm glad. I'm so happy to have finally watched one of his movies and see how much of a visual artiste he is. And here again, I mean, there's a number of very memorable moments in Santa. So many memorable moments. I mean, his use of music, his and the actors that he picked. Yeah, it's overwhelming. I want to wait maybe 4 or 5 years to see it again. Maybe I'd like to return to it at some point, even though it was so overwhelming in its initial viewing.
I love circus sideshow themed horror stories. I mean, you go back to Freaks. I mean, my God, there's just always something there. And I love Mexican horror. I love Mexican exploitation, Alucarda, all these films, and very underrated as far as the visuals go. Mike, what do you think of Alejandro in general, Santa Sangre?
Well, a very surreal film, as others have said. The connection to Argento, the use of color, the use of music, all those things that are important to Dario and Claudio as well.
Yeah, who produced?
You brought up Freaks, and I agree with that. The other movie that, granted, there were no werewolves, but what was it? Howling. What was it? Howling 4, the one that takes place in the circus?
Howling 4, the Freaks.
Just in terms of the surreal, the nature of it, it's Stone was very right in the fact that it can be a very sensory overwhelming film in a lot of ways. You almost wonder if you were meant to be tripping while watching the film. It's not that there's an underlying subtext to the film, and it really changes whether or not you watch the movie sober or whether or not you watch the movie in an elevated position. It's been years since I watched it. I need to pick up the new version and see it. But from what I remember of it, it had a very dreamlike quality. It's not one of those movies that you can sit there and watch and then go next week, hey guys, come over and watch this movie. It's very I don't know if overpowering is the word that I want. It's just very stimulating. And I feel that way post accident, going back and watching a trailer again before and reminding myself of it. But it just seems very heady. If you're not into that surreal quality where you don't know if you can trust it, Angel Heart's another movie that it kind of reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the visuals. I mean, when we walk into like the church, and just every shot feels like you're looking at a painting in this movie, and it's I wouldn't say that it's hard to follow, really. I mean, it's not something that you can just like watch while you're texting on your phone, but it comes full circle. Like I said, it is a redemption story, breaking free of I won't give it too much away, but Jodorowsky to me is just a visual genius, and his movies may not be for everybody, but they definitely speak to me. And is Santa Sangra his best movie? I don't know about that. I don't think so. I'm a big El Topo fan, but my God, it's a crime that he wasn't able to direct more, because I think whatever he would have done with Dune, and we talk about this a lot, like the Nick Cage Superman. Like, say what you will about what that movie might have been, but it would have probably been a lot better than a lot of the recent superhero garbage that we've had. Like, you would have had something very interesting, and I would have loved to have seen what he would have done with Dune. And if you haven't picked this up yet, this is an absolutely stacked set from Severin. It's got a feature-length documentary, commentaries, and all this crazy stuff, because he has 4 sons that act in this movie.
I was going to say, is that the lead actor, Phoenix? That's his son, I believe, isn't it?
4 of his sons, also the pimp character, and at one point, believe it or not, I think Claudio Argento, the producer, actually wanted Jack Nicholson and Angelica Houston to play the parents in this. So that was something that like they were actually looking into, which I don't think that was ever going to happen. But that would
without giving like too much away, though. It's literally not based in reality, is it? Surely, it's almost like Michael said, it's like a fever dream in a way, or just from start to finish.
It's almost like it's an acid trip or a heroin trip. From you hear people
exactly
trip,
Yeah, I think it's another one of those movies, maybe a theme for today, that you have to see it at least once. You have to experience Jodorowsky if you have an interest in film. I mean, he is a very important filmmaker, and some of the stories are like borderline criminal, like what he put his sons through in preparing them for this. I mean, at one point he slapped his kid to like psych him up, but 20 years later at a screening of this movie, it's like, you get to slap me back. And he did. So there's some crazy stories. Yeah.
Oh man, that got to me.
What really, just to close on this, authenticity is what I would really throw out, because there were real prostitutes that were just around that are in this film. There were real, it just really felt like that guy with the fake ear really apparently cut his own ear off in a Van Gogh kind of moment.
Yeah.
It feels authentic. It feels like a film, and we don't have anything like this now. I mean,
nothing.
There's a lot of great movies, but like I don't go to the theater and see anything that like Santa Sangra. I guess Sirat would be the most recent thing that I could sort of maybe compare to it in that used non-actors in some of the roles as the ravers. But yeah, see Santa Sangra once and let us know what you think in the comments, because I'm very curious. It's a beautiful looking movie and a great 4K. So I guess we got one more segment gonna end.
Daniel Schein, tegur з тобою, що мене спали. So feeble.
To be fair, Stone Gasman has a hell of a strong right hand.
I put the two criminals, Dirk and Darnell. Here's a red herring and distraction. You were always supposed to be the real threat? But now, look at you.
I mean, I don't have pupils anymore, so...
Pathetic. But I still give you one last chance, and I'll free you from your bondage.
Maybe that's not completely necessary. I kind of dig this.
Be free. It was time for you to betray them and slay them. Do it for your Aunt Peggy.
Do it for your Aunt Peggy.
Awesome job. Anybody that's jumping in, you could follow this little story throughout the season and all of our seasons on Region Free, including the Region Free movie. So it's been really cool. I'm kind of got a Bray Wyatt vibe going this year, so I love that. So Darren, I know we're about to talk a film that's near and dear to your heart, and that is the 1974 Poliziotteschi film from director Umberto Lenzi and writer Ernesto Gastaldi, Almost Human. You obviously have to kick us off on this one. For anybody that hasn't seen it, this is also known as Milan Hates, The Police Can't Shoot, The Death Dealer, Kidnapping of Mary Lou, Executioner, and a few other titles. But Almost Human is where you will find it right now through Severin on the wonderful Umberto Lenzi, Tomas Milian Violent Streets collection, which it's not at arm's length or I'd grab it. But
highly recommend that. Yeah.
Darren, this is considered one of the best, the first collaboration between Lenzi and Milian.
It is, yeah. I think this is pretty much a good starting point if for anyone who wants to get into Umberto Lenzi or the Italian crime film in general. For me, it's kind of the benchmark. It's pretty hard to like top this. So Lenzi was coming off this Giallo phase in the late 60s with all these sexy thrillers, starring Carol Baker, of course. There's a nice box set out of that. And he's one of his best, in my opinion, as well, Oasis of Fear in 1971.
Yeah.
But with this, he kind of was coming off, because he did do the original kind of cannibal film as well, Man from Deep River. And he did go back to the Giallo after this as well with Eyeball and I think Spasmo. But you just look at the people involved in this film. So you've got Ernesto Gastaldi, a legend, Thomas Milian in probably, I think, his best ever performance. Ray Lovelock, I mean, the gang member, the kind of only one kind of redeemable quality about him. You know, everyone is ruthless in this. Not forgetting Anita Steinberg, she plays the girlfriend. She got like a very memorable death scene. I won't give that away.
Yeah.
I think the score is fantastic. Ennio Morricone and Bruno Nicolai. It starts off with this botched kind of bank robbery, and you've got one of the best police chases. You know, it's just riveting, the opening to this. You've got the whole kidnap plot scene with Mary Lou as well, and it echoes what was going on in Italy at the same time with the crime, you know, the Years of Lead crimes from 68 right through to 1980. Just Giulio, man, he's just one of the most meanest characters you will ever see. And it does kind of pay off towards the end, because I think the ending actually is a good, you know, a good moment in the film. Let's put it that way.
Tomas had a bad cocaine addiction at this time.
Oh, yeah.
And it shows on camera. Like, what an asshole in this movie.
Oh yeah, him and Ray Lovelock were actually living together, not like that, but they formed their own band and they did a lot of music together. But I'll just say one more scene. There's a home invasion scene that I think pretty much influenced Deodata's House on the Edge of the Park. You've got to see the film just for that scene alone. Like it's brutal. But
the ceiling fan, yeah,
I obviously love this one. I'm interested to hear what you guys think.
Almost Human is, I mean, it is considered one of the best. A lot of people consider Violent Naples to be Lenzi's magnum opus. And it's always hard for me to pick. I really love the Polizio Tesco films, and I'm an easy mark for this stuff, to be quite frank. This just had everything going for it. I love Tomas Milian, who his career definitely dipped for a little bit, but he did manage to kick the substance issues and continue on for a very long time. And I know initially the starring role was going to go to Mark Perel in this one. I know Henry Silva replaced Richard Conte, who was cast at one point to play that role.
Perel had a really bad problem, didn't he?
Perel was kind of an asshole from what I understand. And I think Lenzi didn't get along with them.
From what I remember, he actually died of a drug overdose as well, which is kind of, not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, like you said, I forgot to mention Henry Silva as well. I mean, I think him he turns up in all these Eurocrime films, and he is the best cop character. His acting is not great, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about him that's like magnetic. Sorry, Dan, if I interrupted.
Oh, no. This movie is just, I think one of the standout performances in the genre from Tomas Milian. And I always tell people that haven't dived into Eurocrime and the Polizio Tesco, some of them are every bit as violent as the Italian horror films that you love. You watch Lucio Fulci's Contraband, that movie's fucking mean. That movie's nasty. And nobody shoots a car chase like we got from Lenzi, Castellari, and so on. I mean, the way they shoot action in this, and it's just so good. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that set, the Violent Streets set. They're all bangers. And if you like home invasion movies too, as you said, House on the Edge of the Park, like he's a real bastard in this, like one of the iconic villains. But how about you guys, Stone, Mike? Have you seen this movie?
I have not seen this movie.
Okay, I highly recommend you do, Mike. I think you will enjoy it. I don't know how you feel about Eurocrime stuff.
I mean, you mentioned Contraband right away, Lucio Fulci, and I was like, okay, if it's along those lines, then I'm in. 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Contraband. We have a review of that on the channel if you guys want to check it out. Contraband is a wow. That is a brutal fucking movie. Stone, did you have a chance to watch this?
I did. I saw the version that was under the title The Executioner. And it was very entertaining. I mean, it took me a while to get used to the fact that our protagonist was a cold-blooded psychotic killer. It took me a moment to get through that, admittedly, but I enjoyed it for the most part. Yeah, it was fine. I don't have much more else to contribute on this one, unfortunately. But
I know, Darren,
I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it.
Oh yeah, I mark out every time I see this. I think this was my first Eurocrime film as well.
Really?
It's hard to beat this for me. But I understand, it's not going to be for everyone. There's a certain, you got the Sergio Martino films in the sound. He did quite a few of these as well. But I actually think these films for Lenzi are better than his Giallo films. I think the crime films are the ones to seek out if you want to watch a lot, more of Lenzi.
You know what's really ironic, and Umberto Lenzi in general, like that's one hell of a filmography. There's a lot of awesome movies, not just his horror stuff, but his giallos are much more restrained in terms of violence, except Eyeball, but they're much more restrained in terms of the violence versus, I mean, we've all seen his cannibal stuff, like holy shit, and some of the Poliziottesco stuff gets really brutal. I always wondered why that was. He's not a big horror fan. I know Lenzi wasn't too thrilled with a lot of the horror projects that he directed, but
he wouldn't give credit to anyone like Argento. He was always the man who did everything first in his mind.
Yeah.
But just talking about Thomas Milian as well, he does a dual role of Brothers in Brothers Till We Die. That's another great one, man.
Yeah.
Another great, and his acting is superb, I think. Because he did 2 years before, didn't he? Did Don't Touch a Duckling, where he plays a completely different character. He's like a reporter, I think it is. But his acting chops is amazing. He can just his characters, when he plays the bad characters, are usually his best. But he literally is that good that he can play any role, and he has done,
No, he is. Like I said, there were some peaks and kind of valleys to some of his career, but I really consider him one of the great iconic villains in cinema. I really do. I mean, when he's on, and man, you just want to beat the shit out of him in this film. You really do. He's so effective. And Henry Silva's Henry Silva. That just he always came off as like
kind of expressionless, isn't he, Silva?
But it works. He just looks like a mean, nasty. Yeah. It really works. I harp on this all the time, but like we're in a weird place with action movies now where people just don't want to seem to create like really believable, viable new action stars. We get either I mean, my God, Bob Odenkirk, I guess, is one of the top action stars right now. Like, as weird as that sounds, like they're pushing him as an action star, and I'm like, surely we've got some, we've got some like just grizzled men that can rise up and be the next wave of action stars, but
they just don't make him like this no more, do they? The likes of Thomas Milian. He had a love-hate relationship with Lenzi as well. I think they both hated each other, but they both knew once they got together, kind of dynamite. Kind of interesting if you go into all that, look at the old interviews and that with them two as well.
Yeah, for sure. They did 6 movies together, and I believe it's 5 of them on that set. And they had magic together. They really did.
They did, yeah.
As always, I recommend any of you out there. I know a lot of horror fans obviously watching. Dive into the Poliziottesco. You won't be sorry. I mean, there's some that aren't maybe as good, but the quality in general of this genre, with some of the directors that we've mentioned, is pretty shocking. Most of them are good, if not great.
I've watched about 30 of them now, and I would say 25 plus have been I've really enjoyed.
Bangers, yeah.
And I think if you like the Giallo film as well, you'll find a lot in these are similar. They were made around the same time. You've got all the same kind of backdrops, Milan and all the Italian cities. So I think you'll get something out of it as well.
Yeah, and Lorne makes a good point. India is, I should say, American action films. We just can't seem to figure it out. Keanu Reeves, I think, is in his 60s now, to put that into perspective.
Crazy. Yeah.
And Liam Neeson's in his like mid 70s. It's wild that we just can't find some kickboxer somewhere with some charisma and like give him a shot to be the next big action star.
You got Jason Statham as well. He's never done nothing for me. I don't.
Almost 60.
I hate everything I've seen him in, to be honest.
It's kind of turning now, though. I mean, it's part of what it is they're trying to make a lot more of the powerful female action hero. And I think that's part of the reason why you're not seeing as many male action heroes these days.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, I would say the same thing. We just don't really have like a Cynthia Rothrock that's come along recently that's really been able to break through and make that happen. Ronda Rousey, I guess, for a minute, but she didn't have much screen presence. They just cannot figure it out. It's so frustrating because I see at least a dozen new movies a week, usually, if not more. And it's so rare that I see anything worth a damn in the action genre. And yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, but these movies are going to be new to a lot of you guys out there. So check out Subjective Perspective Collective. You guys have covered a lot of them. We've done a little bit on the Dead End Drive-In, and check out some Eurocrime. Check out some Polizio Tesco. If you like action films, if you like crime films, yeah. And Lorne dropping some Indian actors and suggestions for films in there. Yes, go see some Indian movies. You might be surprised. It's not all just singing. It's not all just old school cheesy Bollywood. There's some badass action films. And JG, yes, Fernando De Leo. I know you guys have covered it. I don't think we've done. Yeah, actually, I think we did do a De Leo.
Didn't we do the Italian connection? Didn't we on Dead End?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we did. Yeah.
Yeah. But De Leo's another one. Absolutely fantastic.
He is. He really was. So those are some names for you guys to dive into. And yes, I think that brings us towards the end. Anything you guys want to promote? Darren, Subjective Perspective Collective, what do you guys have on the horizon?
Yeah, so we were going to do a show on Sunday, but something unexpectedly cropped up. So we've rescheduled it for Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Forgotten Jolly 9. So a lot of the 90s films. You've got Murder in a Blue Light, Boogie Rosse. I'm trying to think the other one now as well. But we got that to come. On Sunday, we've got the Lancaster series. So we're going to be covering Ghost House, Beyond Darkness, and Witchery with Linda Blair. That should be a fun one. And very much more of the same, me and Dirk. Yeah. Subjective Perspective Collective, if anyone wants to go over and sub.
It's killing me because I didn't realize, and I added on to an order when I did that Vinegar Syndrome mystery thing. So I haven't gotten my Forgotten Jolly 9 yet. I'll probably get it at the end of the month, but I am
fun. They're fun films. They're not gonna blow you away or anything, but they are fun. Madness is the other one I forgot to mention. Bruno Mattei.
Yeah, I'm eager to get that in. Stone, what do you got going on?
Well, I can definitely join Darren and Dirk on Sunday I've seen Witchery with Linda Blair. Yeah, it's
yeah. If you can get hold of the other two, like Ghost House. Beyond Darkness is the 1990 version, or it is kind of confusing because there's a Beyond the Darkness from Joe film. But just private message me or Dirk if you're not sure which one it is.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. If worse comes to worse, try Tubi because I think some of those might actually be on there.
It's the Fragasso film, isn't it? I think Beyond Darkness, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Fragasso one.
I'll have to see. I don't watch a lot of I buy a lot of shit, but you'd be amazed what's on Tubi out there. Even some of these, I don't know if a lot of the Eurocrime stuff is. It might be more of a question for a regular Tubi watcher, but check it. You'd be surprised what's on there. Mike, you have anything going on? I know first podcast in a while.
The only thing that I have coming up is there's the Louisville HorrorCon and there's the Lexington HorrorCon here in Kentucky. I'm thinking about going and checking out one of those. I've started doing some limited writing again for Horoscope magazine. Just did something for the issue. Going to do something for the next issue as well. Podcasting like this is still up in the air. I don't have a definitive date for when I'm returning to that. But I did enjoy coming on tonight and doing, a guest spot like this. So I'm hoping to do more of that here in the near future. And I've actually had I want to keep this part kind of under wraps for now, but I have had a director approach me about coming out of effects retirement and doing some effects work on a film in North Carolina.
Oh, very cool.
I may decide to do that. It all just depends on how I feel when the time comes. But I'm looking forward to getting back into this. It's 3 years has been a long time away, and being here tonight showed me how much I've missed it. So
awesome. And any of your past films you want to promote, even if anybody wants to check you out?
Well, I haven't done anything that would be considered award-winning or anything groundbreaking, but if you wanted to check out some of my earlier work, I did effects work and was a producer on The Forever Dead.
Brain damage.
Yeah, Brain Damage films. I did R Squared Films put out a film I worked on called Mental Scars. It was the last film that Sonny Landham was in before he passed away.
Okay.
There was that, and I did a movie with that got picked up by Lionsgate several years ago called The Evil Woods. That was directed by Aaron Harvey. So that those are the ones that I would tell you guys to go check out. Keep in mind, I did the effects work. I think everyone did a good job on the sets, but I was not the director or anything like that on any of the films.
Well, you guys go out there and check that out, and we will see you back here next month with there you go, breaking news. Lorne is going to be live next Sunday with Hunter Shea. Let me just say this: Hunter Shea is an amazing author. I've known Lorne had this in the works, and if you have a chance to read anything beforehand, read Creature. Creature is a fantastic Hunter Shea novel. He specializes in like cryptid type stuff, really fun monster stories, but Creature is kind of his magnum opus. It's just such a good book. I look forward to that. I'll definitely be in the chat. So
it's good to see Lorne getting back, because I know he's got a lot planned coming up on the channel as well. So always good to see.
Yes, lots of stuff. And JG Mike doesn't have a channel right now, but you wrote for Horror Society, Morbidly Beautiful, and
Malevolent Dark now. So if you want to catch me on the web, malevolentdark.com is where you can find me right now.
Okay, sweet. All right, guys, we'll see you back here soon. Don't miss that Hunter Shea show. That's going to be a banger. Good night.
Have a good night, guys.